So let's talk about the matte finish screen on the Samsung S95D to the left versus the glossy screen on the Samsung S90D to the right. So I'll just kind of put it out there real fast, okay? It is every bit as bad as you think it is. Now, I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain a solution and so on and so forth. So let's just dive in by talking about why it's actually bad. So the matte finish screen creates very foggy, very hazy images because it basically scatters and disperses the light back against the screen, and it just does not look good. You can try any combination of anything you want to, but unless you have an insanely monstrous level of skill, you are not getting around how foggy and hazy it's going to look in black scenes and certain examples where there's near white and fucking like everything. Like it just ruins image quality, right? And it gets to such a point where I was trying even to go back and forth and trying to use the S90D, hear this, okay, really hear this, use the S90D as a reference monitor to try to get that ugly nonsense out of the S90C or S95C to the left. So right now what you're looking at is the filmmaker mode out of the box. And again, go down, hit reset as much as you want. So you see that nothing was done. I have seen complaints saying that I have artificially desaturated these images to make them look bad, but if that were the case, then it would look bad on this display as well, and so on and so forth. People always have excuses when they don't like the answer to something, to which I will just say this. I am not the guy you watch when you just bought a product and you want to look up videos to feel good about it. I'm the guy you come to before you buy products to learn if it's worth it or not. Now, that out of the way, we're going to talk about one very key thing here. You can get the S95D to look stellar. But it took, I'm not joking, like I've been here for days on end just trying to get it to look like the S90D. So here's where my movie mode settings were. It's obviously a step up from where we were, but then I looked at a couple of different things, particularly the color red. If we look at like the hockey, right? The red just felt a little hot to me, and I wanted the red darker and tightened up a little bit more. Introducing the new settings that I have, which I feel faithfully reproduce a much better image quality. Again, after sitting for freaking days to get this. So again, it is very possible for you to do things to mitigate the glare, but you're not going to defeat it altogether. And what I mean by that is there's still examples where you're going to notice that the S90D is just clearer. It has that glow to it because it's shining into a reflective surface. It's not shining into a matte finish screen that scatters light, creating glare, haze, and fog. I don't know why they thought that this was a good idea for a premium TV to do it this way, but Samsung and the geniuses there decided that that's what they wanted to do. Now, it doesn't look fantastic, and there's all these weird debates about it. Stop the debates. Stop the conversation. There's no conversation to be had. It does create a fog and a haze. If you don't like that, don't buy this TV. That's the honest answer, right? Now, the difficult answer is also this TV has been boasted for being professionally calibrated. It looks like trash out of the box. I'm not even joking or even exaggerating in the least. I just want to point your attention to how wildly like hazy and foggy this image looks. It literally looks like I'm comparing a TV from 1990 to 2024. I'm not even exaggerating with how bad it looks. Like the colors just don't pop. It just looks flat, dead, ugly, washed out. That's just what it is. Now, this is their professional calibration from the experts over at Samsung and their whole team and all their experience. This is the best you're going to get out of the box. Now, what I do is very different. And I'm aware it's very different, which is why I always talk about it. And honestly, if I'm being real with you, I feel like there should be medals for the kind of transformations that I give these TVs, because it goes from looking like this, right? Let's get up a bigger picture of skin, okay? Your skin is just wrong. It's jaundiced, dead, blue, greenish colors, and it just doesn't rock right with how we know skin tone looks. And then I come in and I create these settings. Now, these were my first settings that I created, and it's got a lot of contrast and looks really good, okay. But I wanted to tighten it up even more, and then we get this. I mean, that's a long, long way from here to there. It's not even remotely the same TV, to the point where it's just kind of like, what really was Samsung's direction? I don't know. I do have to question it though, because looking at it, it does not look good. And this is their professional calibration. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is it does not do you any good when you have a bad, quotation mark, professional calibration on top of a screen that naturally just causes a ton of shadows and fog and haze, or shadow scenes rather, to look foggy and hazy. It just doesn't do you any justice. The matte screen is definitely a problem, and you are going to need one of two things: an immense amount of skill to know how to get all that stuff out yourself, because a reference accurate calibration, as you clearly see on the screen, is not going to do that. Or you're going to need to join my membership for $5 and then get the settings to get that out of your screen. It is possible, but I'm not even joking. Like, the amount of effort it took, I mean, I started to feel like it was hopeless because of just how difficult it was to get the contrast back to clearly OLED levels versus what was looking like damn near freaking like an LED. You know, I didn't want that look. And so we've got our contrast back, our clarity back, more or less. It's never, ever, ever going to be like the Samsung S90D as far as, you know, certain scenes and certain examples, but we got really damn close, as you can clearly see. And I think we can accept a win where we have one, right? Now, that being said, I also want you guys to know that this is not a bash on this TV. It's not a bad television. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying you will need substantial. No, you don't even need substantial. You need monstrously unrealistic amounts of work to make this image better, because it's just incorrect. I do not care what reference standards exist. I don't care what tools or measurements or whatever things they use to ascertain what they are calling accuracy out of the gate, okay? It is wrong and ugly. And those things are going to hold you back when you start talking about the matte finish screen versus the gloss finish screen. The calibration is trash. Let's just get that out of the way right now. I will be proving this with multiple different TVs across multiple different years to show you that their professional calibration is no better than a standard out-of-the-box setup. But that's in a future video. But for now, the takeaway is simply this. Yeah, it's as bad as you thought it was. The matte finish screen creates problems, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because you're going to watch a lot of salesmen. I am crowd and self-funded. I do not have to sell out. I do not have to lie to you. I'm telling you for your own benefit, just buy the Samsung S90D if you want something that's gonna be better overall and cost less. Because this, for the amount of money that they're asking for, I mean, like, it's a lot. It really is a lot. Now, if you live in a building that has a lot of glare, you do not want to hang up curtains, or the possibility of curtains and turning off lights and whatever the case may be is not possible, then yes, of course, this is obviously the OLED to go for, in which case I say get it, but then definitely get my settings, because you're not ever going to see what this TV is capable of. Like, I can confidently stand by that every day of the week if you don't have my settings. Like, that's just a fact. Now, again, some people might see that is like a plug or shameless. I'm telling you right now, dude, like, compare what I'm telling you right now out of the box, and you'll see it yourself. It is very evident, very, very obvious, and it's shocking to me personally. Like, what even is that? It's hazy, it's ugly, it's pukey, but this is what you get. Now, that being said, I'm going to move on to other topics. I hope this helps you guys figure out, like, do I really want a glossy screen or a matte finish screen? Because I know a lot of people complain about reflections, to which, again, I will just say turn off the damn lights. Because the amount of contrast loss, especially like black, the color black just starts looking foggy and hazy. Like, it just does. Especially in movies like John Wick, when they're going in buildings and there's a stairwell that's not really very well lit, and you're going to start to see it get really foggy real quick. Like, it's just like somebody set off fireworks or something, and then in the aftermath of fireworks, you know how it has that little grayish, foggy, whitish haze to it? It's going to look bad. And there's no real way around that outside of my settings or learning how to do what I do yourself. And good luck there, because I don't take on students. I only sell settings. That's as real as that's going to get, because I'm telling you, there is nobody that's going to be able to produce an image like this for the 95D. They're just going to have to live with the foggy, hazy screen and then try to gaslight you and tell you it's amazing when we all see how foggy the damn thing looks. So, that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. If you have the S95D, again, not a bad TV, not a knock on it, but you definitely need my settings if you want to see what this thing really is about without the haze filter. I do remove that for you. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty, and until the next video, I'll see you guys later.